My name is Valerie Taylor, and I've been a diver for the bulk of my life, over 60 years. I started off spearing fish, and I was very good at it. Then one day my husband and I, we both won the Australian title, me the women's, his the men's, and he walked out of the water and we looked at all those dead fish, and we knew we'd been out at a beautiful reef covered in marine life, and we'd taken out all the big fish. And Ron said, "I'm never going to do this again." And I said, "I'm not either." And we walked away and became marine conservationists. And we were very successful at it, more successful than anybody else in Australia or any other group, mainly because my husband was a cinema photographer, underwater cinema photographer. And we were both good divers. I was young, I looked good in the bikini in those days, and we would get the story, a good story, we'd film it, and you could go on television and speak to the people of Australia. And that's how I got the potato cod protected, the sea lion protected, the grey nurse shark protected, the great white shark protected, many marine reserves made, all through getting a good story and going on television with good imagery and speaking to the people of the country. And if there's one thing politics don't like, they don't like bad publicity, they don't like to look bad. And the last thing I did in the field of conservation in Australia was slightly mad. I had a big sign, and I sat on the steps of Parliament House in South Australia. I just sat there, dressed very well, wearing my best pearls, and I had a sign that said, "Don't let the government take away your marine national parks," because the fishing lobby was pushing to be allowed to fish in the marine parks. What's the use of having a marine national park if the fishermen can fish in it? They forget it. And I just sat there, and eventually reporters came and the press came, and I'm all by myself. People came, I got on television, and I did one other thing. I paid my own way down there. I paid for everything myself, because I knew that someone would say, "Why would South Australia pay for Valerie Taylor to come down here and sit on the steps of Parliament House?" They didn't. I did that. And I saved all the marine parks, every one. I went home, and I got a phone call that night from a politician, and he said, "I want you to explain why you did this." So I explained to him very carefully how South Australia has the very best diving in the world, which it does have. I noticed today and yesterday at ADEX, which was extremely well run and very well presented, that South Australia, except for the white sharks, didn't come into it. And I was horrified, because their jetties, the life around their jetties, beats any coral reef I've ever seen. They have those wonderful sea lions, great white sharks, all sorts of interesting marine life, dolphins that will swim with you, and nobody knows. It's a big secret. And I went to the South Australian stand at ADEX, and it was nowhere near as good as some of the others. And the only thing about the marine world that they were presenting were the sharks. And I thought, that's sad, because the marine world offers so much. It's disappearing at a rapid rate, the diversity and the richness, and it has to be stopped. And I was very impressed with some of the lectures that I listened to at ADEX over the weekend. People speaking about just this. And what was even most impressive, that most of them, or many of them, are Asians. And our biggest problem at the moment, in Australia anyway, are Asian vessels, mostly Taiwanese or Indonesian, coming into our waters and dropping bombs, cyanide fishing. It's a big country and we don't have enough vessels to patrol all our coastline. It's sad because they have fished out their own areas, and that's truly sad. And they know it. It's no good saying to me, they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And it's going to take a huge effort to stop them or slow them down. Personally, I think the only thing that can be done is for huge areas, square miles of reef and ocean and shoreline made totally protected. Only people who want to enjoy the area. I say, go and visit a marine national park. It's there for you to enjoy, not there for people to go and kill and destroy. And that's very important. If we don't do it, we're not going to save the oceans and the life in it. I'm very old. I'm 80 this year. And the sad, sad thing is that no young people today, anywhere in the world, will ever know how wonderful the oceans used to be. They'll only know how man has made it. And to me, that's a tragedy. You know, I've got arthritis, I'm old, I struggle around, but I've had the best life of anybody I know ever. I've had the most incredible life, and I've seen the marine world as it should be. I've seen it as it was, and I hate seeing it now as it is. It's a tragedy, and once people like myself and other old-time divers are gone, there'll be nobody left to tell the true story. And that's what's going to happen. There is hope, but it's going to be hard fought for. And that's all I can say. And thank you very much for having me here. I enjoyed it very much, and maybe I'll live long enough to come again.